Good morning. I want to take a few minutes on this beautiful day to talk about subcontracts, about contracting, and how we're writing those. So you might be thinking, well, I had a lawyer write it up, it's ironclad, I'm good to go. There's an old saying, good fences make good neighbors, and we'll get into why that is. But one of the funny things is that one fence doesn't fit all. I mean, in some cases you need a chain link, in other cases you need a split rail. It's, are you holding in horses? Is this just decoration? It's the same exact thing with contracts. There's no one size fits all with contracts. And if you're doing this well, it's really a very relational thing. What you're doing is you're creating a boundary that says, hey, we're going to clarify the scope. First of all, that's a massive point of contracts. And second of all, we're going to create the right type of fence so that it fits the situation correctly. And that way, we're trying to eliminate anything that could go wrong. But in the case that it does, in the same way that good fences make good neighbors, you could very easily take all the emotions out of it when things do go sideways, because they do. And you could just say, what does the contract say? It's just really clean and simple. So there are multiple types of contracts out there, and the two obvious ones everybody's thinking of is, well, it's either time and materials or it's fixed bid. In the residential world, that's kind of what you get. But there's a beautiful hybrid out there called an NTE. It's basically a time and materials not to exceed, that NTE, not to exceed contract. And one of my first contracts that I wrote when I started this company working with one of the residential general contractors, I was actually able to save a client, save the homeowner $90,000 plus markup and taxes using this contract. And it was actually really simple. So basically, it was a situation where we had a known soil type, and it was basically tons of rock, lots of rock, and the dirt worker, we had done all the surveys, we knew what we were getting into, so we got a fixed bid from the dirt worker, and I put my owner's hat on, and I thought, it's excavation. You never really know what you're going to get, even if you've done all the surveys and you supposedly know what you're getting into. And this extra chipping was going to cost $90,000, and I had a conversation with them, and I just said, hey, if I put my owner's hat on, this is how I think we need to structure this, and they're totally fine with it, because we're just trying to do what's right for the customer at the end of the day. We're not trying to charge them a bunch of extra money, but we didn't hit all of that rock, and so. Would the subcontractor have done the ethical thing and said, you know what, I'm not charging you for all that? Maybe. But the point is it was clear. We knew for sure what we were going to get into, and we didn't have any sort of weird situation where it's like, oh, well, I was contracted to make this regardless. Different situations call for different types of fences or different types of contracts. And one of the other things is a lot of residential general contractors feel like, well, these contracts, I always feel like I'm just trying to put these subcontractors in a box. And, I've got this really aggressive contract, and a contract needs to have teeth in case you need it. Like, we need to be able to handle business if something bad happens, but 99.9% of the time we don't need that. And the feeling shouldn't be, oh, I'm trying to force these subs to sign this, this really arduous, huge, or painful contract in any way. It really is a moment where we get to clearly define the scope and then say, how's this going to work best for both of us? And so in that way, contracts really aren't just like, well, here's my form, sign it. So there really can be some good back and forth. You can have a contract that has some rather strong language for various situations, and if a sub isn't comfortable, you should be able to frame it in such a way that you're actually proposing a subcontract. You're not just saying, okay, here it is, sign it. You can say, here's my proposed subcontract, take a look at it, let me know if you have any concerns. So it just takes all the pressure off, creates a really good feeling as you're going into the project that we're a team, we're trying to work on this together, we're gonna manage things ethically, but at the end of the day, if something doesn't go right, then both of us are protected. So they get the opportunity to redline it, maybe add some different things into the contract and say, hey, these are the things that I'm concerned about. I want to make sure this gets added into it. no big deal. It's not uncommon to do it well anyway, for things to go back and forth a few times. And maybe now you know that subcontractor, this is what they need, and the next time you do one of their subcontracts, it just already has it in it. The other thing I said is clearly defined scope. Now this is a massive, massive, massive thing. You know, we think, oh, we're just gonna take their proposal and we're going to put a few things into it, but really it's actually a matter not for an office person that doesn't have construction experience necessarily. It's a matter for somebody that's been in the field, that has years of construction experience, thinking through what is it that they're going to do. Where does their scope stop and where does somebody else's scope pick up? Are there any gaps in that scope? So those are the type of things that actually make good contracts. And if you need any help with that, we can help you just blast out a few contracts. We can help train you. We can help take a look at what you have. Just because a lawyer wrote it up doesn't even necessarily make it ironclad. A lot of lawyers, they have no construction experience. Weird. They're lawyers. So to be able to look at things and say, well, here's a situation that I had previously with a drywall contractor, just make sure that this is part of their scope, different things like that. So anyhow, like I said, just get in touch with me if you have any questions, if you need anything, we're happy to help.